With classical training at one of India's prestigious Ayurveda colleges for 7 years, along with extensive Sanskrit and yoga study, gives Dr. Rama an expertise in many areas of Ayurveda. With 20 years as a practitioner, Dr. Rama has nurtured hundreds of patients back to health with herbs, diet, exercise, and counseling. He has spoken at many international conferences on yoga and Ayurveda. Please welcome Dr. Rama.
Good evening. How are you? Ayurveda is ancient, the oldest medicine on earth. That doesn't mean it's like, outdated. It comes up with the most modern concept. The definition, when you go back to the Ayurvedic textbook and take all the technical terms, they're exactly the terms we use in modern medicine today. The concept of disease, concept of health, everything is exactly up to date. So today we call Ayurveda holistic. I don't know why we call it alternative, but it's holistic, means looking at the whole person and starting to address the issue in all levels, if possible, or at least in the on a all vital levels. So Ayurveda in India uses around 21,000 single herbs. That'll be an interesting thing to know. Over 500,000 recipes, herbal recipes, and recently India government banned patenting around 250,000 recipes because they're all listed on the old textbooks. We have hundreds of cleanses, rejuvenation therapies. We have 150 Ayurvedic universities or colleges training up to 250 patients in each, 250 students in each college or university every year. So you can imagine a quarter of in Australia is kind of Ayurvedic doctors in India. Millions of Ayurvedic doctors. And the most exciting part for me is this. Around 2,000 Ayurvedic herbs are found in Australia in our backyard. And they're all weeds. Some of the weeds, most powerful Ayurvedic herbs, are in our rugby grounds and fields. I couldn't believe it. I was walking around and found cider rhombifolia. Cider is one of the best nerve tonic, spinal tonic. And most of us need it. When you finish your Friday night, the first thing you need is stabilizing our brain and nervous systems, all shaking and shivering. Anyhow, when I reached in Australia 17 years back, vegetarian food was a little bit of difficult thing to get because I was coming from a vegetarian family, and we had to create some tactics and things like that. So I used to tell the chef or the cook, look, I'm a bloody vegetarian. I put on this face like, I'm a bloody vegetarian. Do you have any food for us? And they laugh and they'll figure out something for us. So, whenever I try to tell them that, look, do you have vegetarian food? In a tough way, they'll say, no, we don't have any vegetarian food. Whatever on the menu, you can order. So gradually, we created some ideas. So I need to say, in the clinic, I get all sort of health conditions, people with all sort of problems. So over the last, 10, 12 years, I started specializing and putting more effort into conditions like multiple disorders or syndrome X, the blood pressure, cholesterol, and few other things together. And when you have too many diseases, too many health conditions, treatment becomes simpler, according to one of my teachers. So I spent some extra time with him. What's going on? He's not a computer specialist, but he's told me this. When someone is really struggling with the computer or can't really work it, ask them to plug it in first. So the fundamental problem, there will be a fundamental little pin not connected, a plug not plugged in, a switch that's not turned on. Fix that. So in multiple disorders, what I've seen is there is a really simple problem. We need to discover it. It's like CSI Miami. What is it? And then we figure it out, and usually within few weeks, sometimes 6 to 8 weeks, they start improving radically. It's not just, Ayurveda is not about removing disease. It's about bringing health, glorious health back to its peak level. And we use all sort of potions and lotions and in some cases it's all tablets and things like that, but the main technique is working with the food, lifestyle, exercises, and in some cases seriously inexpensive cleanses. Because Ayurveda talks about one thing: everything starts in the gut in a particular context, so it's not applicable to everything. Every disease or systemic disease starts in your gut. So clearing the gut and retraining the gut would be the key technique in curing, fixing, managing a health condition. In '83, when I started Ayurveda, for the first 3 months, especially the first 3 months, I was really disappointed because it didn't make any sense. After studying physics, chemistry, and biology at school, I had really good teachers as well. And you're sitting in this jungle. It was a jungle. Ayurveda college. My college was in the middle of a jungle. We had real wild elephants, and we won't go there right now. And the first teacher tells me, in fact, asthma is a bowel disease. And I'm thinking, has he gone to school? That's in '83. In '92, what happens? I was reading this medical book, American Medical Association journal. It says, a group of American and Japanese scientists discovered the same endotoxin in every asthmatic's bowel. By that time, I'm a clinician. In the beginning, I was focusing on lungs and bronchus and the chest and breathing and digestion. Now, my focus completely shifted because the American Medical Journal was telling me in a language that I could understand easily. So endotoxin in the bowel. Whoa, what's the best way? And the whole focus was switched. So I started putting 50% of my focus on bowel and 50% on lungs. So it's not anymore a lung disease alone. So the funniest thing is this. I started, in the beginning, I learned Ayurveda, but really didn't trust it totally because it didn't have that contemporary language. And modern science really helped me understand Ayurveda a lot deeper, better. Many yoga practitioners, spiritual practitioners, they want to switch from meat to vegetarian, and it's a long process. Sometimes it takes few minutes, and sometimes it takes few decades, because it's like switching from petrol engine to diesel engine. You can't really just start putting diesel into your petrol car. So there's a little bit of patience, observation, science, care, love, compassion, all those things we need to put in so that we can be healthier vegetarian. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. Try putting diesel in your petrol car tonight. But generally, turning into vegetarianism comes from here, comes from what, really wanting to do that because there is a reason. And what pulls you backward is your genetics and cultural issues. Like you go to a party, everyone is eating meat, and what do? So many times it's simply, tactics. Simple tactics, and that's the thing. And many times switching between, you need supervision. Minerals, vitamins, etc., etc. We need to supervise it. Thank you.